All right, today we're diving into a country that is absolutely rewriting its own story. We're watching it transform from what was once a regional manufacturing hub into a genuine global investment powerhouse. Yep, you guessed it, we're talking about Bangladesh. This quote really frames our entire conversation perfectly. Foreign investment in Bangladesh, it's not some side bet anymore. It's a central agenda item in boardrooms from New York all the way to Shanghai. The question has totally shifted from if to how. And this right here is probably the most important thing to get. If you still think of Bangladesh as just, a low-cost t-shirt factory, your picture is about a decade out of date. The real story today, it's built on these three massive pillars: incredible market depth, a crucial position in global supply chains, and just this unstoppable demographic momentum. But look, that's the high-level story. Let's ground all this in reality and see what the numbers are actually telling us about the money flowing into the country. Okay, let's start with the big headline number. By the end of 2024, the total amount of long-term foreign capital invested in the country, that's what we call foreign direct investment, or FDI, well, it stood at a cool $18.3 billion. You can think of this as the solid foundation, right? The base upon which all the future growth is being built. But that total number, it really doesn't tell the whole story. The journey over the last decade has had these three really distinct phases. It kicked off with a period of expansion and a ton of confidence. That was followed by a time of disruption, from global shocks. But the crucial phase is where we are right now, a selective recovery, where the smart money is starting to flow into new, high-growth sectors. And you can actually see that resilience right here in the hard data. Even during that challenging disruption phase, net FDI held pretty steady, just ticking up from $1.649 billion in fiscal year 23 to $1.697 billion in 24. So it didn't collapse, it endured. And here is the rebound we were talking about. In just the first 9 months of the 2025 fiscal year, net FDI jumped an incredible 80% compared to the same period a year before. Now that is a powerful signal that confidence is back and a new growth cycle is kicking off. So we've seen the total amount of investment. But to really get a handle on the opportunity, we've got to ask two more questions. Who's doing the investing, and where exactly is that money going? So if we break it down by sector, the traditional strengths are still really clear. You've got textiles, banking, and power making up the backbone. That's almost 60% of all FDI right there. But honestly, the most exciting part of this chart for me is that huge 42% chunk just labeled Other, because that is where the story of diversification is really happening. And the investors themselves, they're a truly global group. I mean, the UK is the historical leader, sure, but look at the serious capital coming from Asian powerhouses like Singapore, South Korea, and China. This isn't just one country placing a bet, it's a diversified portfolio of global confidence. And here's the main point from all that data. Bangladesh is not some emerging, untested market anymore. Not at all. It's a proven one. The fact that investors from Asia, Europe, and North America have all found success here just goes to show that different business cultures and investment models can all find a path to profitability. Okay, so that's the landscape as it stands today. But for any smart investor, the real question is always, where is the puck going? So let's dive into the top 10 sectors where the future growth really lies. First up, even the powerhouse sectors are evolving. It's not just about basic garments anymore. We're talking advanced textiles. Pharmaceuticals are absolutely huge. They already serve 98% of domestic demand, and they're exporting globally. Agribusiness is tapping into the rising consumer demand for processed foods. And of course, renewable energy and IT services, they really represent the new modern face of the economy. And the list just keeps going with these high-potential industries. You've got medical devices for a growing healthcare market, leather and footwear, where Bangladesh is already a major global player. And then there are the foundational sectors that support all this growth: light engineering, plastics, and construction materials. It all paints a picture of a really diverse, modernizing industrial base. So the opportunities are clearly there. But, and this is a big but, potential doesn't automatically equal profit. Success really hinges on strategy. So let's talk about how to invest smartly. This really gets to the heart of it. The opportunity in Bangladesh, well, that's like the visible tip of the iceberg. But whether you succeed or fail is determined by everything happening below the surface, the preparation. So many investors fail not because the market is bad, but because their planning was just too shallow. So, what does that kind of deep planning actually look like? Well, it's a structured 6-step process, which you can see right here. It all starts with getting crystal clear on your strategy. Then you move through some tough market and regulatory analysis. And you finish up with really detailed planning around your finances and partners. Every single one of these steps is designed to take risk off the table and build a solid foundation for your success. And look, navigating these 6 steps is where having expert local help becomes absolutely critical. A good partner, they act like a bridge, turning the potential you see in a presentation like this into a profitable reality on the ground. They're the ones who know how to avoid all the hidden pitfalls and, frankly, accelerate your path to market. This slide really just sums up the whole transformation. The old story of Bangladesh was simple, low cost. The new story, it's way more compelling. It's about a rare mix of scale, capability, and market potential that very few other countries can offer today. So there you have it. We've looked at the numbers, we've seen the sectors, and we've talked strategy. The potential of Bangladesh as this investment powerhouse, that's not really up for debate anymore. The real question, the one that's left on the table, is for you. Are you prepared to actually capture it?